What if I told you that the real reason you keep failing isn't because you're lazy, weak, or undisciplined, but because a hidden part of your brain is quietly sabotaging you? By the time you're at the end of this video, you will have a full understanding of why you sabotage yourself, how that connects with Carl Jung's groundbreaking theories on the unconscious, and more importantly, how you can stop self-sabotage forever. Because if you don't do that, you will be forced to keep wandering in these same sabotage loops, continually puzzled about why you just can't let yourself be free. But once you have an understanding of the root cause of your self-sabotage, you can begin your transformation. And to begin with, the first step is something that is so counterintuitive that you may have never even considered it. Let's start with a surprising but scientifically proven fact. You are not a single person. In you, at a deeper level, is a subconscious part of your mind that you're not even aware of, and that thinks completely differently to your conscious self. It believes different things, and it acts with its own agenda. Carl Jung talked about this as the shadow. This is the part of your mind which you have relegated into the background with all your insecurities, fears, and beliefs that you have worked hard to bury. Take a minute. Has a wonderful possibility ever arisen in your life? A new job, a new relationship, or a relocation to some new place that sounds wonderful, but you flaked at the last minute? Did you declare that you weren't ready, that it wasn't a good time, because deep down you were just frightened? Or maybe you tried to establish a new habit, exercise, eating well, staying productive, only to fail and give up. This isn't because you have no willpower. It's because a portion of you wants to be a success, but another portion is afraid of what success will bring. For example, if you're successful, will other people expect more from you? If you finally get in good shape, will you lose your excuse for not putting yourself out there? Or if you're successful, will you feel guilty about those that aren't successful? Carl Jung also implied that self-sabotage is a defense strategy, where the unconscious tries to keep you away from something it perceives as threatening. In the majority of cases, this is created and rooted in your earliest childhood conditioning. If you grew up in an environment where success was punished, or where you were taught to play small, your unconscious mind may still be operating under those outdated rules, even if this no longer helps you. Jung also spoke about complexes, patterns of emotions, behaviors, and thoughts that are strongly ingrained in your unconscious mind. If you grew up constantly being told you weren't good enough, you may have developed an inferiority complex that secretly holds you back even to this day. But this isn't just a psychological theory. It plays out in real life in ways you'd hardly believe. For instance, did you know that many people sabotage interviews on a subconscious level without even realizing it? They don't meet deadlines, are late, or respond with generic answers, not because they don't care about the job, but because on a deeper level, they are afraid that moving into the position will expose them for being a fraud or an imposter. The brain reminds them that being small is safer, because it finds security in what's comfortable and familiar. Or take relationships. Do you notice that you continually tend to attract emotionally unavailable partners? Or do you keep ending up with unhealthy relationships over and over again? The kind that are non-committed, that keep you at arm's length, and that leave you feeling unworthy? This is not bad luck. Your unconscious is actually recreating old, familiar, hurtful patterns from early in life, because on a deeper level, it finds this safe. You might push away healthy partners without realizing it, finding small flaws, feeling bored, or suddenly losing attraction when someone treats you well. Why? Because deep inside, a hidden part of you thinks love must be difficult. If love was inconsistent or painful in your past, your subconscious will seek out similar dynamics, even when you consciously want something different. Maybe you've grown up in a home in which affection had to be won out, in which emotional abandonment ran on a regular basis. In that case, a portion of you will be thinking that relationships are supposed to be a hunt, that stability is a red flag, and that you have to work at love. And you do it over and over again inadvertently, chasing those who won't commit to you whilst pushing away those who will. But here's the thing. Jung discovered a way to bring these hidden fears into the light so they stop controlling you. And it all starts with a strange but powerful realization. That realization is just the simple fact that your shadow is not your enemy. In fact, it's trying to help and protect you. But it doesn't know how to do this. It evolved as a survival device in order to keep you alive. And now it's doing anything and everything in its power to keep you safe. For example, maybe you fear having a sense of responsibility because your shadow remembers those experiences in which responsibility initiated stress, overwhelm, or failure. It is trying to keep you from that hurt, but at a cost that is not necessarily healthy. Being aware of this makes you more likely to approach yourself with empathy. That's why self-compassion is essential in this work. The more you criticize yourself about self-sabotage, the more you are reinforcing that very pattern. Most people are under the illusion that they have to fight sabotage, that they have to try harder or exert more discipline in order to break through. But that is not how the unconscious operates. Jung believed that whatever you resist persists. The more you suppress your insecurities, fear, and doubt in yourself, the more power these have. That is why you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, because you are fighting against parts of yourself rather than making sense of them. So what do you do instead? To start with, you must be conscious of your shadow and integrate it, rather than fight it. Jung called this shadow work, and it's the key to stopping self-sabotage permanently. There are 4 practical ways you can start shadow work today. Spot the pattern. The second you are undermining a goal, procrastinating, overeating, not exercising, not working, stop immediately and ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Self-sabotage is always a defense, so you must find out what your shadow is trying to protect you from. 2. Give it a voice. Do not quiet the little devil on your shoulder. Let it speak. What is it saying? Is it fearful of failure, rejection, or letting the old you go? You must listen to its message, and having listened, then you can start to form a dialogue with it. 3. Negotiate, not wrestle. Refrain from wrestling yourself into a new habit. Bargain with your shadow. Is it afraid of failure? Let it know that failure is just feedback. Is it afraid of success? Let it know that you will be no different, just more satisfied. 4. Make small, gentle corrections. The subconscious does not appreciate drastic, radical changes. Instead, go step by step. A key component in becoming more integrated with your shadow is realizing that you do not merely desire one thing. You have multiple desires that are in conflict with each other. For example, you may want success but be afraid of the accountability that comes with it. Perhaps you yearn for love, but fear being vulnerable. Or maybe you want freedom, but deeply crave certainty, stability, and security. Self-sabotage happens because these conflicting desires tug you in 2 opposite directions. The solution isn't about choosing one from the other, but about creating a balance where both desires can coexist. Shadow integration is about healing these contradictions, not having conflict with them. Instead of trying to force yourself to reconcile these conflicting desires, Jung believed it's better to acknowledge both sides, so you can honor both your conscious wants as well as your deep emotional needs. Now you've learned about shadow integration. Here are some ways you can do this in practice. Some of these methods may sound surprising, but they can be completely transformative and change the way you see yourself forever. Here are 3 steps you can take immediately in order to eliminate self-sabotage. 1. Journaling. Every time you sabotage yourself, reflect on it in a journal and ask yourself, what did I fear? The more you do that, the more you will understand that which is stopping you. 2. Reframe your fear. Choose a fear that you have and reframe it in a more empowering way. For example, if you are fearful that success will be more stressful, reframe it as, being more successful will give me more autonomy in pursuing that which I am passionate about. 3. Commit to doing a small thing. Don't attempt a big goal. Do a single small step in a new manner. Small successes are cumulative and send a message to your unconscious that it is acceptable to shift. One way you can integrate your shadow is through creativity. According to Jung, art, music, and writing are a few methods that can help you uncover great insights into your unconscious. When you create, you are expressing hidden emotions and underlying phobias in a healthy way. Whatever that creativity is, painting, music, journaling, you are giving yourself a vehicle by which you can understand yourself in a non-judgmental way. Finally, the most powerful and transformative way to do shadow work is to write out your life story, past, present, and future. Sit down and write out your course, where you have been, what you have struggled with, and in which direction you're moving. Doing this gives you a profound way to understand your life and to examine those underlying patterns that have shaped you in the process. Then, once you're aware, you can make conscious choices about how to move on. The fact is, self-sabotage isn't a weakness. It is a warning that a repressed part of you is fearful, and it's actually an attempt to keep you safe, even though it's unhelpful. Now that you're aware of your own patterns and how to work on them, you can stop fighting yourself and break free from the chains of self-sabotage once and for all.